Is it worth buying your own Erlc server? In this video I'm gonna explain you the process of buying an Erlc server, all the packages as well as the prices. But also some things that people usually don't consider when they want to start their own roleplay server in Erlc. So to buy an Erlc server, it's gonna cost you a one-time payment of 50 Robux. Now you might be thinking that's actually pretty cheap, so you can just buy a server and start roleplaying right away. Not so fast, because if you want to do anything on that server, you're gonna have to buy extra packages. So if you want to have custom liveries, custom ELS, uniforms, as well as the logos on the police stations, you're gonna have to pay extra. So how much are those extra things gonna cost you? So first we get the API pack, which is 600 Robux, and it allows you to connect bots to your server essentially. Then we got custom ELS, which is 350 Robux, which allows you to customize your own ELS. It's gonna work for position 1, 2 and 3, as well as fire department, but you can't customize the DOT ELS. Then we got premium settings for 250 Robux, and you get all the benefits here, which you can pause and read them if you want. Then we got pro server for 200 Robux, and you can see the benefits here once again. And then we have roleplay pack for 200 Robux with, once again, all the benefits here. So in total, having a server with all the game packages is gonna cost you 2050 Robux, and that includes the price of the server. So you might be thinking that the initial price of 50 Robux is actually pretty cheap. And it is. It's the game packages that get you. This is of course a classic marketing strategy. Now, which game packages do I have? Well, I have everything but the API pack, because the 600 Robux price tag is just ridiculous, and I don't see a point for it, especially for a server that's not for roleplay. So my total was 1450 Robux. Now there's a few things to consider if you want to start a roleplay server. First, you're gonna have to enable some settings to enable friendly fire, as well as allow cops to arrest anybody, essentially, even that's not wanted. Same with pit, allowing cops to pit anybody, even if they're not wanted. You can also adjust the time of day, if that's what you want, or you can also freeze the weather. Now, with a roleplay server, you're of course gonna have to establish some rules and some roleplay standards. You can still ban certain vehicles and certain weapons, both for the civilian and the police team, not the fire and DOT for some reason. Now, there's two main issues to consider if you want to start a roleplay server. Number one, the majority of Erlc and, well, Roblox players in general are very young. So of course, being kids, they have very little life experience, so they don't know what's realistic and what's not. So a lot of them would do things that are not necessarily realistic, and despite being wrong, they would continue to fiercely defend their opinions. And number two, as moderators, you simply don't have the tools to enforce those standards. For example, when a player is in a vehicle, you cannot see their name tag. So you're gonna have to chase them until you either get them out of the car or just spectate random people until you get to them. There's also no way to temporarily ban someone. You can just permanently ban them and then unban them after a certain period of time. You also cannot repair your vehicle. You don't have God mod enabled even as a moderator. And although there is a command to teleport your personal vehicle, there is no command to teleport your personal vehicle to you. There's also no command to despawn someone's vehicle. And you also can't teleport anywhere you want. You also cannot fly around the map, except when you use FreeCam, but you can't physically fly around the map. Not to mention, you can't ban certain equipment from being used by the police, or the fire team, or even DOT. Now yes, you can whitelist teams and lock them behind a group, but very few people play on those roleplay servers, especially when all the teams are whitelisted. So we simply do not have the tools to run a proper roleplay server as of yet. This is why you see staff cars everywhere and moderators actually chasing people like they're suspects, which is honestly kind of ridiculous to see and shouldn't happen in the first place. Now, of course, you also can't do everything yourself, so you're gonna have to give some people moderator roles. Now, that could also potentially pose a problem, because like I mentioned earlier, the majority of Erlc players and Roblox players in general are just kids. And I've seen my fair share of power tripping kids who just want moderator to essentially just abuse their powers. So you're gonna have to keep that in mind, because your moderators essentially represent your server. People are gonna blame you for the actions of your mods. Now, I'm not saying those things to discourage you from making your own Erlc server. You're of course more than welcome to try if you want, but I'm just giving you an insight of what having a roleplay server is really like, which is ironic because this isn't a roleplay server, and for the reason I mentioned above, it's also not gonna be a roleplay server. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, you're gonna have to make your own Discord server for the community. And also, sometimes people break the rules when there's no moderators online, so you're gonna have to create a ticket system so players can report that on Discord. And of course, to get players on your Erlc server, you gotta advertise that. Now, there is a special section on the PRC Discord in which you can do that. But also be mindful, because nobody wants to be spammed in DMs with, "Oh, join my server, please." That's probably gonna have the exact opposite effect of what you want. So you can be smart about it and just show off your custom liveries and ELS in the pictures section, and then eventually people are gonna ask, "Oh, which server is this?" And then you just give them the invite link. So that's pretty much all there is to it. Whether it's worth it or not, it really depends up to you, of your budget, of what you want to do with your server, and if you're gonna dedicate your time to it. Now, if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer.